Welcome to White Wood Winery. I'm Jim McAndrew, the head winemaker at White Wood Winery. Several of the members of our wine club have asked that we put together a little video of how we make our signature wine, the Blanc du Bois Texas Tailgate Wine. Come on in and we'll show you how.
Starting with a small backyard grapevine plot and a passionate but amateur desire to make our own wine, me, Jim, and Orlando have decided to go into commercial production. After numerous awards and amateur competition, and with the encouragement and investor support of our friends and family, we decided to embark on an adventure in starting a winery. White Wood Winery will establish its Texas Tailgate Blanc du Bois as its flagship wine to distribute in Texas. This wine will be the go-to wine on ice or over ice at football games throughout Texas. Its crisp, refreshing character will find an active fan base, more flavorful than hard seltzer, more Texan than a Pinot Grigio or Chardonnay. This wine will be marketed as the perfect beverage for any dish that you would have served with iced tea. Our goal is to make drinking our wine an easy decision. No more worries about having to choose a Zinfandel or Pinot Gris. Just buy our wine and enjoy. We start out in the field, harvesting our grapes when the sugar concentration and flavor compounds reach their optimum levels. The grapes are then brought in from the field and washed.
After sorting and selecting the best grapes for our wine, the grapes go into the crusher destemmer. This machine separates the grapes from the stems and leaves the leaves and stems behind. It also does the initial crushing of the grapes. Now we have what is called must. The must is treated to prevent unwanted wild yeast from growing. The must is then pumped to a hydraulic press, which squeezes the juice out of the grapes, leaving the skins behind. We analyze this juice to check its sugar content. Our wine has an alcohol level of 11.6%. To end up with this finished alcohol level, we have to start with a certain sugar content in the juice. We calculate this to 21.3 on the Brick scale. Since Blanc du Bois wine already has some flavor notes of honey and wildflower, if the Brix level is too low, we add a little bit of wildflower honey to boost it up. The juice is then pumped to a fermenter where we add yeast. Yeast is what will convert the sugar in the grape juice to alcohol. We use Lavalin 71B yeast. It works best at a temperature of 59 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, so we will keep our fermenter at 65 degrees. This is a jacketed fermenter, so we can pump glycol solution through it and keep it at that very specific temperature. We chose this yeast because it's a very clean yeast, and it can tolerate up to 14% alcohol. It adds a little bit of citrus notes, but it is known as a type of yeast that lets the character and flavor of the grapes to come through.
The essential character of our wine is a refreshing green apple citrus flavor. Because we want to keep these flavors, we do not treat this wine with malolactic fermentation. Malolactic fermentation will convert some of the malic acid into lactic acid. This will reduce some of the green apple flavor and add more of a buttery flavor. This will also reduce some of the tartness that makes this wine so enjoyable on a hot Saturday afternoon in Texas.
After a couple of weeks in the fermenter, the yeast have done their job fermenting to completion. The yeast we use is a Saccharomyces cerevisiae yeast, and once it is finished, the new wine is pumped over to this area where it is filtered. It is a 0.04 micron filter, which will not only remove unwanted proteins and sediment from the wine, but will also sterile filter the wine so that it preserves better in the bottle. Now we'll go over here. Here we have the area where we bottle our limited releases. This machine allows us to bottle 4 bottles at a time to not only nitrogen purge the bottles, but also pull the vacuum and fill the bottles. The bottles are then brought over to the corker. The cork starts out significantly fatter than you would expect. It's compressed and pushed into the bottle. This machine then shrinks wraps the plastic cover around the top of the bottle. And finally, we come to this machine where we put the label on each bottle. We don't have to barrel age this wine. Oak aging would add more tannins and add some vanilla and toast characteristics to the wine. We do oak age our Texas Grill and Cabernet Sauvignon, but that is another story for our next episode. Well, we hope you have enjoyed our tour and just wanted to remind everyone that we have opened up a few more spots in our wine club, so get on over to our website and sign up for discounts and special events.